How often do we see in situations that the loyalty goes both ways? Think about that. How often that when we see loyalty, do we see it go both ways? Because a lot of times sometimes I see it's like a one-sided loyalty. So I just want to, briefly, I want us to dive in. Like, how often do we see it go both ways? Random pick. Mike, start with you.
Well, I mean, that's like a different day category ordeal. You feel what I'm saying? You may feel some loyalty some days, and then on majority of days, I agree with what you're saying. It's a one-sided ordeal. You know what I mean? When you feel like you're a good person within your heart, and you feel like you're putting forth all your effort towards whether it be a relationship, a friendship, or just dealing with a random person as an associate, and you putting forth effort to be kind and understand where they're coming from and putting yourselves in their shoes and things like that, and you're just being an upstanding human being, so to speak. You feel what I'm saying? And you just showing a majority of yourself, and you're I guess letting your guards down and being content with this person, and you expect for them not to take your kindness for weakness. You know what I'm saying? And then you're just allowing the conversation to go, but then suddenly some things could go sideways. They could get real comfortable real fast and think a random ass joke could not offend you or something like that. You see what I'm saying? Even dealing with different races and things of that nature. You let your guard down and you're being an upstanding human being. And then, say for instance, if I'm dealing with a white person or just any random race and they feel like they can say a nigger joke, you feel what I'm saying? It's offensive. And I don't like to get out of my character, especially in a professional setting. You see what I'm saying? I wouldn't like to get out of my character, but just around the way, I'm not just going to let you talk to me any kind of way. You see what I'm saying? So just be respectful, man, in life and in everything we do. Carry God with you. You know what I'm saying? If you believe in God, live humble, live close to him. You know what I'm saying? Carry yourself that way.
Most definitely. Jeremy, come on, man. That question come to you, man. How often do we see it both ways, man?
I don't think we see it both ways too often. Maybe in the relationship, yeah. But as far as like friends and stuff like that, I definitely don't think, we see it too often, especially when something bad happened. Like for example, Kevin, when I was on Southside and I was playing basketball, and and I got in a brawl pretty much, just me by myself, and the guys that I was with, they talked the most trash and that, and when it all came down to it, I was the only one fighting. So, I thought those guys were like loyal and this and that and the third, but it come to find out, nah, it wasn't that way. So it's not both ways. It's definitely not both ways majority of the time.
Yeah.
Most definitely. Josh.
Yeah.
Do we typically see it both ways, man?
No, like the situation that happened with a certain young lady, me and like when I was overseas, y'all, did what you did, and she didn't want to tell me, but you wanted to tell me. So you was loyal, but she didn't want to tell me at all. And I had to find out the hard way. And I was like, I mean, I know we wasn't in a relationship, but you could at least been honest and like, yo, you did what you did. I mean,
yeah, most definitely.
But nah, it's not. We don't see it both ways, especially in relationships.
Okay, cool.
Question for you, right quick. Pardon me, I ain't pardoning.
No, go ahead. Do your thing.
Bro. You're not saying that Kevin messed with the girl, are you? Oh wow.
Okay. Yeah.
That was the situation. Okay. That was the situation. That was it.
But he told you about it.
It was a weird trifecta. It was a weird situation. It was very weird. It wasn't.
I ain't even caught that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, but at least he told you about it. That's the thing. You know what I'm saying? So that's him being loyal. I guess.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, yeah. All right.
Okay. Cool. Matt, let's go. Come on, man. Do we typically see it both ways?
Nah, we definitely don't typically see it both ways. That rarely happens. But I would say it's not just on the party that's being disloyal. It's also on the party that expected that person to be loyal. Because I believe people come into each other's lives and they apply what they are loyal in to the other person. And we don't give each other a chance to know the other person's values, take time to know how the other person moves, take time to know what the other person appreciates before we determine where their loyalty should lie. A lot of times when you meet a person, you automatically put it on them where their loyalty should lie.
Right.
You don't know what that person's values are. So you might be going to a fight that they should automatically help you. And they never even gave you no information like that. But because you would do that for them, you're assuming they should automatically do that for you. Right. So I think it's also a big downfall on the person expecting the loyalty. If you don't have no evidence of how they move, have no history of them doing anything, they wouldn't actually be being disloyal. Right. It would be on you expecting something out of them that they never even offered you.
Okay.
I've done it before myself. I met a female and without even having those deep conversations, without even understanding her. I like understanding her. I'm like, I treat her this way. I move like this. I'm doing this for her. So I'm automatically expecting that should be reciprocated. That's not her fault. That's on me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think it plays on the person that's expecting the loyalty. So we need to learn to know people more before we even expect certain things out of them. Like I say, knowing their values, knowing their history, knowing their upbringing, and then I think you get more loyalty. Because I think back in the days growing up, when people didn't move around as much, or people were growing up in this neighborhood, you got more loyalty because you knew this person since y'all was kids. You grew up on the same block. Your mama knew their mama. That was a little back in those days. Right. Now you meeting people that you don't know from. I moved to Texas. I'm meeting somebody I only know in 1 week, and I'm thinking, oh, I'm doing this for them. I'm doing this for them. So eventually, as long as I'm being wasted them, it's gonna come back to me. That's not the case. Right. So that's my opinion on that.
You're right.
Okay, cool.